But Tim, kick them off with the waiver wire transactions.
Where I'm making sure I'm clicking on mine right now just to double check. If you can go for him, go ahead. And I'm looking at tight ends, especially my man Juwan Johnson. He was out there making some incredible catches. Like it wasn't just the fact that he scored and what he scored; it's the way he went up and snatched those balls out of the air. That sounded horrible, but
Pause.
yeah, like all. But seriously, we're not no effing around. Those catches were impressive. So I'm loving the matchup with him and J Bo. Especially if those two guys are available in your leagues, look out for those guys. Another guy I'm looking at is Tyler Higbee. What you got, Chris?
So, just to go off the Jawan Johnson thing, I kind of saved him because I was thinking about picking him up. I knew he was a very big fan of him, but I had no one to drop. So I was all like, I already have two tight ends. I got Kyle Pitts and I got Johnu Smith, however you say it, the boy in New England. We know he balled out with Tennessee. I do like what Tim is mentioning with him. The reason I held off and I didn't want to drop, for example, Smith was because it's a slim game plan I've seen from him. He had three catches, two of them were touchdowns, 20 yards. But he could be a number one target. We don't know who the go-to guy is until Colston comes back in. But with my pickups, I went ahead and I grabbed Elijah Mitchell in both my leagues. I think he's a safe bet. I'm gonna have him on my bench. I won't have him starting right away, but I think it's safe. See what the Niners do with the running game. See what happens. Play it better safe than sorry. If he sucks this week, you could throw him away for someone else that will ball out this week. It happens all the time. And now let me dive into the playmaker in Las Vegas. I'm talking about Brian Edwards. I was actually kind of ecstatic to get him, but it was kind of easy for me because I got the number one waiver wire. That happens when you suck in your league. Just for people who don't know. And so I was ecstatic to get him. I think he's going to be the go-to guy. I think he's going to be your reception type of leader, but he also has speed too. I think he's going to be the number two target behind Waller, and I think that's crazy because everyone thought it was going to be Ruggs. And don't forget about Renfro either. He'll get like maybe five catches a game, but there's something about Edwards that just shows me that he could be a threat to be a top 20 receiver this year, and that's something to keep your eyes on for if he's available in your league. Now, my other league, I was surprised because Tim was hyping him up, but he was available. I got his J-Bo. He's my third quarterback on the roster. So if anything, I will use him as trade bait, or I could use exactly. I got Herbert, Burrow, and Winston. It's very solid, but one of them could be trade bait. So I'm happy with it, just to get extra skill. But another player to keep your eyes out for, and he will play this Thursday, is Sterling Shepard. He had a really good game. He's the number one receiver in New York. And with that, too, he had 9 targets. 5 of them were caught. I think Daniel Jones is trying to build some chemistry with him. And that could be something really good, especially if the Giants are going to be losing games for the fact a lot of those are going to be garbage time points. So they're going to be going crazy with that. And that's how you're going to be getting most of your points. A lot of people aren't talking about him just because he's been injury prone and things like that. But it's the same thing with Raheem Mostert. Get him while he's healthy. He'll give you points when he's ready, and then when he's hurt, throw him away. That's as easy as that.
Right, right, right. See, we heads on these things. We's heads on these things. You got to watch. You definitely got to watch out. Those are some definite strong fantasy waiver wire moves, especially if you're in the markets for some tight ends, wide receivers, and of course, J-Bo. So
And with
that leaves room for the
oh,
smooth transition into a bit of a kind of a reach, but why not? It's week one. Why not have some fun after first of these couple of little matchups? We can have a couple of overreactions. So we're gonna look at our power rankings again and see who we had moving, shaking, and baking out here. I'm gonna go ahead and say uh, the Ravens. That ooh, that game. Ooh, that game had you on the edge of your seat. Almost could have won that, but the fact that the Raiders was putting it to you like that, ooh, gives me a little cause for concern. The biggest one of them all, biggest mover is the Packers. You can't score 3 points in a game and expect to stay up there. You really
can't.
can't. But let's be real. It's week one. Uh, as Aaron Rodgers would say, relax. He's gonna get his off-season rust off. That's kind of what happens when you sit out the entire off-season. So, uh, outside of that, everything else is staying exactly the same, pretty much. Outside of maybe moving in them Seahawks, let's be real, Danger Russ and Tyler Lockett. Ugh. Did anybody see the way Tyler Lockett hit him with the Jamaican limbo to bring in that catch? That ooh, Sports Center top 10. Chris, who you got moving and shaking out there on your power rankings?
So I will talk about the teams I kicked out, which would be Tennessee. Get out of there. Yes, Arizona's a good team, but you can't get embarrassed like that, especially when you're supposed to have one of the top offenses in the league and you can't keep up with Arizona. I'm not discrediting what Arizona did, but again, if you got a top offense, keep up. You didn't do it, so you're out of there. Ravens, for everything Tim mentioned, also too, they keep getting hit with the injury bug. And today, I'm not gonna say it's anything serious because it didn't seem like, but now you got Marquise Brown on the injury report. It's an ankle, but not, they don't make it seem like it was serious. But for some reason, like something's biting them. Tim knows all too well with the Chargers. That happens every year to them, and it seems like Ravens got it
We,
worse.
we,
Like
we
they
had
need to
to.
do something.
We had to. We had to do me like that. You had to do me like that. You got to
It's
remind
true
me.
though, isn't it?
Not gonna
It's
lie, it does though. We definitely know that out there. Oh, it's annoying. So I know what it feels like to be a Ravens fan right now. Oh, have it hit like that though. That's just different. But there's some good things to look at. You guys got some nice guys on that practice squad. You guys could probably have the best practice squad in the history of
yeah,
the
Hall of Fame
NFL.
practice squad. And then with that too, I put them outside just because I just don't think they're ready for it yet, and also who they're matching up with next week's gonna hurt too because I think we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
But the Dallas Cowboys, they proved they are a contender. They're ballers. Dak looks great. He looks like how I wanted him to look. It's just they're facing a tough schedule. You go against the Bucks, then you go against your Chargers too, and then of course we didn't mention our other one, so we might as well mention it now. Demarcus Lawrence broke his foot today. They're another one who just seemed like their star players just get hurt, and their defense already struggles. And now you're not going to have a pass rush. That's going to be terrible. Herbert's going to be throwing all over them, and something to watch out for. So I'm going to keep them out of the top 10 for now. But if they overcome it, I'll put them in there. I'll be happy to do that. And Tim mentioned it as well. The MVP. Green Bay Packers. You can't put up 3 points like that. Not against the Saints. Not because everyone don't even know who the Saints are this year. And you let Jameis Winston do his thing. Like, I'm not gonna discredit Winston at all either, but it's a team you're supposed to beat. They have none of their weapons on offense. They don't have Drew Brees no more. That's a whole new team and they blew you guys out. Can't happen. Shouldn't happen. And you let it happen. And now two other teams I'll talk about is the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. People are way too overreacting on the Pittsburgh Steelers just because they won against the Bills and they're throwing them in their not top five. I mean not top 10, they're top five. Calm down. Like Big Ben looked terrible. Like he looked like Drew Brees last year. He can't even throw a football. Once that elbow goes out, they're gonna be a top 25 team. Like, yes, they got an elite
Yeah.
defense. That's why
Yeah.
they win games. But to
Yeah.
say top five, they can't even beat most top 10 teams. I would beg they couldn't even beat like the Cincinnati's in their division. Like they would struggle with them. And yeah, the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, MVP material. He put on great stuff during last season. And yes, Pittsburgh has a number one top tier defense, but you got to find a way to win the game, especially when you got Roethlisberger as your quarterback, who he's not who he was 10 years ago. Najee Harris didn't do nothing. Like that offense didn't do nothing, and you can't win a game. That was very, very uncalled for. Disappointed. And then they go against a strong Dolphins defense next week. You start off 0-2, you're going to struggle because that means Miami's 2-0. New England probably going to win against the Jets next week. That's going to be hard to come out of that division. And especially all the top tier teams lost, which I'll get into on a quick rundown too. Me and Tim will match up very quick with the Bucks and Chiefs as our number 1, 2. You had Rams at 3, I want to say, and then we start getting a little different. I got real different actually. I went I still believe in them, and actually, I'm going to switch it up a bit just because I want to give the Chargers more respect where it's due. I will put them at 4. They got a strong defense. Their offense can take over the league, and if Herbert makes up for what he does last year and learned a lot, they're
Hmm.
going to be a scary team this year. I replaced them with the Browns just because the Browns lost, but I don't know. I think that would be a really good matchup, like KC and the Browns were together, and it would come to whoever has the ball last. And right now, I'm going to give the Chargers the edge just because I got Seattle on that next spot, just because of what he mentioned. Like, we always doubt Seattle, but Seattle always comes out and prevails and proves everybody wrong. And Tyler Lockett, he's the number one on that receiving core. We all want to be fascinated with DK Metcalf, which you should be. No one that size should be running a 4.28, making
No,
plays like that,
no,
and you should be impressed with him. But also be impressed with the small guy too, because he plays like he's
right,
6'4", and I think
right,
that's more impressive as well. And
big
then
time.
next, this is where it's gonna get a little interesting, a little fun. I got the Niners. A lot of people aren't sipping that Kool-Aid, but that defense,
To say the
that
least.
that defense is back to normal. Nick Bosa, he gonna be a defensive player of the year candidate. Jimmy Garoppolo, he got something to prove this year. So I'm drinking it. And one thing I'm not drinking though is like, I don't know about this system where you play two quarterbacks, but they're not the only ones doing it. Like Chicago's doing it. Chicago should only play with one quarterback. Bring Justin Fields in. I don't believe in Andy Dalton whatsoever. And then
He's gonna get booed out of the stadium.
yeah. And then you got Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota, which Derek Carr balled, so he deserves the starting job. But Marcus Mariota is also a good quarterback too. I like they brought him in. He ran like a 30-yard run. But it's weird. We're trying to bring a college scheme into the NFL. I don't know how successful that'll be because usually if you're a good team with the elite quarterback, you don't need to do all that crazy stuff. But we'll see how it works. Then my
Right.
next team up, who was it? I'm lost in the sauce, but I'm not. I got the Arizona Cardinals. I am sipping on what they are selling. I love them. Their offense is crazy. What could be underrated, but it's also too, if he stays healthy the full year, is JJ Watt. He may not get a lot of sacks, but if the boy Chandler Jones is not taking double teams anymore, he's getting 5 sacks a game. That makes a huge difference, and that's going to scare every offense. And let's
Big
not
time.
forget, either Kyler Murray. He is lethal. He's got the legs like a Lamar Jackson, and if he could get the arm together, he's got an arm like Patrick Mahomes. That is lethal. And then you got AJ Green, you got D Hop, you got Christian Kirk. Scary. They could end up being a top five team at the end of the year that nobody is talking about. But let's keep it forward because I'm going to surprise and shock a lot of people. I'm not sipping on the Kool Aid that much, but like we said, we overreact a lot in week one. So let's have fun and throw the Raiders in the top 10. They deserve it. They balled out. They took
Wow.
a top contender out. They deserve to be there. But let's not play either. The thing that always people get scared of with the Raiders and how they beat them is that defense, and that defense showed up. Max Crosby, he gonna be someone to be reckoned with. And that secondary
Mm-hmm.
looked really good. Tim
Mm-hmm.
knows all too much about that
Mm-hmm.
secondary because the former D coordinators over there, his former all-star cornerback is over there in Hayward,
Yeah.
and that offense knows how to put up points. We talking if Derek Carr can basically be an Alex Smith, you got Henry Ruggs, you got Darren Waller, you got Brian Edwards, you got Josh Jacobs. Let's not act like this team ain't got weapons. They deserve to be a top 10 team. And I'm going to close it off with this because I want Tim to take over because he's more of a fan. Talk about them New Orleans Saints.
You put them Saints back in there.
Yep.
Okay, now see, people are kind of sleeping on the Saints solely because Drew Brees retired and they don't believe in J Bo. You people tripping. Y'all need to believe in the Bo, J Bo. And let's be real, what he did, historic. Only player in NFL history, 5 touchdowns, less than 150 yards passing. Let that marinate for like 2 seconds. Just let it marinate. Marinate on your brain, get a sizzle a little bit. But it wasn't even the way in which he did it. It was just the simple fact you sitting there watching, like, wait, this might be the real thing. This might be the real thing. This might be the real thing. He bought the ball out. I think you're gonna ball out. Look, I'm believing in it. And they was motivated than a mug to be able to take them out for their hometown squad after what happened down there. We all know what happened. We don't need to mention it all again. But definitely a big time game. I see them riding this wave like similar to how the last time one of the weather events hit there. Let's be real, those guys were balling outrageous. Saints, definitely don't sleep on them. AK, J Bo, when Kangar Mike comes back, the offense is gonna get even better. Sean Payton and J Bo, it's a nice setup. And the fact that he got to sit behind at least for that 1 year to be able to see how Drew really orchestrated it. So
And
that's a nice pick.
before we move on with this, I know you want to talk about this team as well because I feel like You want to be in that South Beach, Florida area. So talk about them boys enjoying that lovely weather that just never seems to change.
Man, them Dolphins, them Dolphins. Look, that's another one of them teams people are kind of overlooking. They're riding a strong defense. Let's be real. They had a player just literally clear 10 interceptions out there. So they have a lockdown corner, and if you throw to him, the chances are the ball is gonna go the other way. And you don't want to test that. You don't want to test that. You don't even want to know what that's like. So definitely believing in them. I can't even get it out of my mouth right now.
It's that
It's
good.
hard. It's hard to believe. Like the Dolphins look serious. They look serious. Consider them. That is a nice pickup.
And that's going to wrap up our top 10. We had some extra ones for you guys. Hey, if you like what we did, comment down below. But we ain't done with this just quite yet
No
because we got a game tomorrow. It might not be what everybody want to see,
game,
but it's what you need to see.
game,
And
game.
Tim, let's talk about it. The football team, the New York Football Giants. We got a new quarterback out there, but we best not be sleeping on him because he almost took Brady out of the playoffs. He would have never seen the Super Bowl. He
Mm-hmm.
would have never beat my team. We would have won that thing. But we
Yeah.
didn't. So it's
No.
reality. But Tyler Heineke, you might not want to sleep on him because he could be the future of that team. Oh yeah, you're right. Heineken, get yourself a beer, sit
Right.
down. We going into this segment. Also,
Okay.
what I like about him a lot, he's very mobile. He's got
Mm-hmm.
an arm. Like Tim says, he always will say, Chase Young say he the best quarterback in the league. He's sipping
He
that
does.
Kool-Aid.
He
He
does, and he
he
believes
got
it.
some he got something else in that Kool-Aid. I don't know what the hell it is, but he got something in that Kool-Aid.
He's sipping
And
the sauce.
but let's yeah, it, but let's be real. Washington got a team. We talk about Pittsburgh's defense. Washington's defense is just as good, if not
Mm-hmm.
better. And as
Mm-hmm.
well, the weapons on that team. You got Logan Thomas, former quarterback, now playing like a top five tight end. You got Terry McLaurin, who reminds me a lot of the guy we was raving about in Tyler Lockett. If he puts it all together,
Mm-hmm.
which we saw last year, a couple more years, he gonna be a stud. Actually, he already is a stud, but he gonna put his name on the map. And Tyler Heineke, whew, I believe in him. I don't know why, but man, he looked good against y'all. He looked good. First game, you come in the playoffs against Tom Brady and you take him to the 2 minutes and say, "Show me what you got." He
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I'm taking the football team on this. I'm gonna let you go in as well because I doubt you taking the Giants, but I'll make a case for the Giants once I hear what you got to say about this football team.
You know what? The Giants is gonna win. Not. Let's just be real. Let's be real. The New York Football Giants are in a rebuild. They need to completely like they need the publisher's clearance house that place and just wipe the whole thing and start anew. That's how you would like to see it. But let's be real, they have some pieces on that squad. I like their guys up front. They actually had a guy come over from the Jets that didn't look too nice in the years and seasons that he played with the Jets. Now he's on the Giants and he's making some waves, and the name is Williams. Get used to it. That guy's he's definitely something to watch out there. They have a couple of other pieces on that squad as well, but their problem always seems to be the same thing. It's discipline. Like it's very simple with every team and any team. That literally is that's what separates the Bucks from the Giants is discipline and literally buying into it. So when you're seeing
And
all
Tom
these
Brady.
teams in this pro level game, like let's be real, that's the only thing that's separating them. Once any one of these teams really figures it out and everyone focused and everyone's on the same train, any given Sunday is any given Sunday. But there's so many things that need to go right. Saquon didn't look like Saquon last week, but
Which I'm gonna cut you off there because Joe Judge came out and said he's not ready to give him a heavy workload. So
mhm,
we knew that knee's not 100% yet, but if he takes a while in September and October, that's going to struggle for the Giants. Like I did mention, watch out for Sterling Shepard. Now I'm a big buyer in Sterling Shepard because someone's got to take over. And again, someone we always seem to be disappointed with is Evan Ingram. He's out again. Kid keeps getting injured. He's the athletic
mhm,
freak, but can't stay healthy for the life of him. Like,
no,
and Daniel Jones, I don't know. I'm not even sipping water for you, man. Like we the water boys for a reason. You need a bottle from us because
get him
man,
some, get
you
him some,
needed it on that run when you was
get him
stumbling.
some, get him some, get him some of Mike's
Because
secret stuff. A bottle full of it. That's what he
because
needed. Needed.
literally, if you don't ball out this year,
Yep.
you're gonna be the Chargers' backup quarterback, which might not be a bad thing. Maybe he needs to learn. Maybe he
He
needs
really
to learn.
does. He
Maybe
really,
he needs to be like
really does.
he could be like Mitch Trubisky. He's right behind Josh Allen now. Maybe he needs that. But
Yeah.
I think this is your last year to prove what you got. You were already a shock, even though maybe you were the right pick because everyone thought Dwayne Haskins was going there, but now look at Dwayne. So
Mhm.
I don't know. You are a little better than Dwayne. I will give you that. But is that really a compliment? I don't know if it is. Like, prove
Hit
yourself.
or miss.
I get it.
Hit or
You got a
miss.
bad O line. I get it. Your weapons are always going down.
Yeah.
But that's just the pressure a quarterback takes. You're supposed to overcome all that. As unfortunate as that may sound, the media don't care what you don't have. They care who you are and what you can be. And you struggle.
Unfortunately.
You need to prove it.
Unfortunately. Because you can't outplay the bad line. If they can get him some better, not even to be honest, like it goes back to it again. Their old line gets focused on their strengths and dump down on them. They can find a way. Getting Saquon, getting him feeling good and confident on that knee is a big, big, big step. So it's not going to be their game. It's not going to be their game. The oh, it tastes like vinegar saying it. Every time you say the Washington football team, it sounds just like we didn't want to come up with anything at all. We just want to say something. The football team. I'm sorry, it's hard to say, but they're definitely a talented team.
No, they
Taking
definitely
the
are. And as you hear, me and Tim are taking them, and we're going to actually fast forward and rewind at the same time. Let's take that tape back a little bit. I owe Tim some money. As you guys did see, he beat me by one game.
oh yeah,
I don't know how to say it, but
yeah.
it ain't going to happen again. I promise. And
You know, it's
this week,
funny.
we both take the.
It's because you took the football team. That one game, you probably could have evened out. You
Uh huh.
took the football team.
You right. You right.
Yeah, that's what
Uh,
you get for sleeping on
I'm
the Chargers.
changing my pick to the Giants. No, I'm just playing. I'll play.
Watch something
But
crazy happens
we
like
don't
the
even.
Giants figure it out. Giants win.
But we ain't even putting in Thursday's game. But stay tuned, cause what is it? Saturday when you have the picks pop
Mhm,
up? I think Saturday
mhm.
when our picks pop up, pay attention to them because we both about to be on our A game now. We probably gonna be really accurate this week, so you want to stay tuned for that. None of us want to lose our money, so we're gonna be precise with it. But with that too, I will close this thing out. And if you stuck
Close.
with us this whole time, I
Work.
greatly appreciate y'all.
Work.
Leave a comment
Work.
down below. Let us know what you like. Let us know what teams we missed out on. Let us know how you feel about that Thursday game. Tim, let them know what's good.
Stop sleeping. We sleeping on a lot of teams now. Look, we sleeping on. We got Saints. We got them. We got them. Got them Saints. Yes, I said them Saints. We sleeping on the football team, as sad as it is to say, but the football team, and as well them Raiders out there. And don't ever forget about them Seahawks. You know what it was. You know who broke it down for you. It's the Water Boys. Name's Tim.
Chris, we
Hey,
taking off, taking out. Stay hydrated. Peace.
hydrate.